Yo guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Today we're going to be talking about how to force muscle growth one rep at a time. That is how progress is made, that is how muscle is built. If there's one thing I've gotten right that's made my fitness and muscle building results as good as linear through these almost 7 years that I've been training now, it is this: going into each and every session with the mindset of, I did this last time, I'm going to try to beat it in this way this time. The logbook says I did this, I'm going to try to beat it with just this much this time. Knowing that if I do this every time, this little every time, many times later it's going to be a lot, okay? So there are several ways you can progress, and we're going to be talking about them. But what I really want to hammer down on, that I've been hammering down on for so long, and I keep repeating until you get it, okay? It is repetitive. Repetition is the mother of all learning, right? And it comes to me telling you about what you do in the gym, right? And I just find that way too many people do not approach the training in this way, like going in hungry to beat what they did last time, going in that with that goal, with that intention, looking at the logbook, seeing that I did 10 reps with this weight on this exercise. I'm going for 11 now. Because you're going to find that if you approach your training that way, more than going to the gym, it's kind of like, oh, I wonder what will happen today. If you go in there hungry, deciding that I am going for it, you're going to find that so many times it's going to happen. If I pull up my logbook and showed you my training from this bulk I've been on now, I don't think there's a single session where I don't make at least one training PR on some kind of exercise, right? And it is because I go into every session with this mindset: I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat what I did. This is what it said I did. I'm going to beat it. And it happens so often when you approach it that way, right? This is also how you become process-oriented over results-oriented. It's something I talk about all the time too. I know I did in a recent video that the results paradox is that the sooner you can just forget about the result that you would like, the number you would like on that exercise, the look, the muscle you'd like to grow, and instead focus on the steps there, doing what it takes each and every day in order to get there. Focus on that. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you will get to this result, right? And going about this thing, the sooner you realize that, hey, this is how the result I'd like, this is how I do it. By doing just this much more every time, you're going to start enjoying that. Like when you know that inevitably, if I keep adding this little much, I'm going to get to that result in the end. It's so much easier. If I go into the gym, I want to grow my biceps. I've done 10 reps on a certain curl, and I know I have this weight, 10 reps, this form. I added an 11th rep today, and I didn't cheat. I did the same form, and it's the same weight and everything, right? I am growing my biceps. As long as I keep this trend going, my biceps that I want to grow, they are going to grow, all right? So that is going to be the most typical way that we make progress, what's called double progression, right? That we have a rep range, let's say 8 to 12 reps, and we add reps with the same weight within that rep range between workouts until we get to the higher end of the rep range. Then we move up in weight, start over at the lower end of the rep range. Again, there are so many exercises that it's just ridiculous how consistent I've been able to be, like just push progress. Like when I started training neck, right? And this is again about enjoying the process, right? It's a little less than, it's like 20 months or something I trained neck now. I get so many comments on, oh, your neck is huge, bro. Oh, I never seen a bodybuilder with that big of a neck, And I remember when I started training it, neck extensions, neck curls, right? 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps 2 times per week. And then I've just really changed this rep range a little bit and the sets a little bit. But pretty much that's what I'm doing. And I remember thinking when I started at the end of summer, almost 2 years ago, right? That, it's going to be interesting when I keep this up, it's going to be fun to see my bigger neck in a year, because I knew that it will happen, right? And if I go back to those logbooks, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be like 12, 11, 10 reps on this session, on this weight for this exercise. Next one, 13, 12, 11. Next one, 14, 13, 12. Getting to 15, then the next one, I'm going to move up in weight and start over at the lower rep range, right? This is how you're going to do it on most of your exercises, right? But there are, of course, other ways to do it. Like, because I'm someone that will tell you most of the time, train to failure. You're supposed to, on your like 3-ish sets on an exercise, you're supposed to like lose a rep between the sets. That means you're pushing it hard enough, right? I will say, side note, that it is that first rep, that first set that matters the most. That we beat our best set. Like that's how we see really that we've made progress. And then it's just a question of where are we at? Do we want to add more volume to drive the progress? But it's really that first set that really shows the progress mainly most of the time, right? But so I'm going to tell you to do that on most exercises. And if you have slight technical breakdown towards the end of a set, that doesn't really matter. There are exceptions, like because I'm someone, you can go see my video about my style of bodybuilding, that building muscle is a goal, but not no matter what. I have certain skills I want to build. I want to get there in a certain way, right? And so I've been working on my front squat and my form. I really want to do front squats, right? I want to be good at the skill of doing that also. And I had to kind of rebuild my form. And so there, it just has not quite been a good idea to just push the intensity into the wall, because I'm going to end up breaking form in a way that I don't want, right? In this case, I do what I call create room for progress, that I want to get high quality volume now to practice this new form. So I did a good old 5 sets of 5, but I start kind of way lower than I know that I could technically complete the 5x5, just so I can kind of create room for progress, to build this like confidence and practice the form at an intensity that I know I can handle, and kind of sneak it up. And the funny thing is that what's going to happen then is that where I could have started my 5x5, now when I start lower and just do the mini increment of weight adding to my 5 sets of 5 every time, I'm gonna kind of sneak past what was initially my top 5x5. Then of course I'm gonna hit a wall at some point, and now I'm gonna have to reconsider, right? Do I want to spend some more time at this weight, you know, build confidence here? Do I want to change it up, do past reps, do something different, right? And yeah, the point is here, I know that there are some ideas out there about how progressive overload is not really the driver of gains. You know, it's mechanical tension, and progressive overload is a consequence of that. In my view, it's a circular relationship, and I understand wanting to kind of manage people's expectations as you get more advanced, that you cannot expect to always like make progress on every single thing that you do, that you have to start kind of seeing other signs of progress, like because, you know, sometimes you're going to be in between 2 reps, kind of, if you see what I mean. You could have technically made progress, but it's not enough progress to be adding a full rep yet. And you kind of have to learn to stay patient, but also see that, no, it is going well. Even when I don't complete that next rep, I'm still moving towards there. I get that, but still, there's going to have to be this intention of doing more in order to make your body adapt. And you see, it's a circular relationship, really. And this is what I want to plant in you. You should always be looking for that progress. You'll always be trying, always be going for it, you know. And then there's gonna, you know, sometimes it is this, that it's gonna take longer. You have to kind of stay patient until that actual extra rep shows up. And there are certain exercises that are kind of notorious plateau exercises, where progress would slow down at times, like a bench press, you know. But then what I'd like to say, because it's quite rewarding, you know, it is rewarding to see more immediate progress like that. So many times, if you plateau on an exercise for too long, like what you can do, let's say take the bench press now as an example, is you can of course stick with the bench press and change your set and rep scheme. You know, you could, if you were doing touch and go reps, you can try doing past reps. You know, you can switch to close grip. You could switch bars. There are many things you can do, right? But I would so many times just recommend, like, just put that one on the shelf for a while and fill in that slot with a different exercise. Try a dumbbell press. Try it in a Smith machine. Try a chest press. Try a dip. Try something different. You know, change it up. And so, because so many times when you go away from a plateaued exercise to like an equivalent that targets the same muscle group that you haven't done in a while, now quite often you're going to be in this, like, yeah, I'm actually able to add reps quite consistently. And yeah, I could just go on and on about this, you know, but we have to kind of, what you also have to do is, because I'm talking about 1 rep at a time, is you have to be serious with all of your exercises. When you're sculpting a physique, really perfecting a physique, yes, as we all know, the big movements that target the most muscles, they're always going to be your bang for your buck. But really filling in the details, we're gonna have to be serious about our secondary and isolation exercises as well. I just know way too many guys that approach it that what they keep track of is kind of the bench number, for instance. Maybe the dumbbell shoulder press they're doing after, but then everything else is kind of like, yeah, then I just kind of knock out some lateral raises and some triceps pushdowns and that. Nope, you're gonna be just as serious there. The logbook would be the big advice here. If you're not keeping track of your training, that's something you gotta do, because that's something like, if you're someone that can push it all you have all the time, technically maybe you wouldn't even need the logbook, but it's such a good tool to have at hand, to be looking before every exercise you get to. Like, I did this last time, okay, I know what I'm trying to beat now. And you're gonna find that you do it so often, guys. And I'm gonna keep repeating this. So just like, because I'm training, I'm making progress with making other people make progress. So I'm gonna be just as boring, repetitive, do and say the same things over and over and over until you get it as well. So please like and comment, guys. Oh, do you know the last thing I'll say? When you have this mindset, I think I kind of said it a little bit in the video, but when you do have this mindset, you're chasing progress like this, you have to watch yourself very carefully so that you don't get carried away with a number, though, and that you start cheating more with the form. I can see how I did that in the past on like dumbbell presses, for instance. I was chasing heavier dumbbells, but looking back, comparing some clips, I was cutting the range of motion shorter, right? So that's why it can, even if you're not someone that posts on social media your training, it can be a good idea to actually film your set so you can compare, But that will be the last thing I say. I want you to be chasing progress, but this is what we cultivate to. The person that is hungry for the progress, but also, in control of their ego, like being in control, making sure that if you make progress, it is the kind of progress, the quality progress, actual real progress that you want, not superficial, just adding numbers like that. So do like and comment, guys. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, getting jacked and stacked mentally, physically, spiritually. I have the tools, I have the mindset. Let's go. Send me a DM on Instagram, email me, it's in the description below. That was a silly one. I never prepare how I'm going to say all of this. But, you can send me, you can contact me. I'll get back to you with my different options, my different programs and offers. You can pick up my training book. That's all of this is in the book. It's very much, I'm hammering down everything. Just keep progress rolling. It's going to look this way, do it this way. So it's kind of a coaching book in that sense about training. Go pick that one up to support me and the channel, and please subscribe for more content about fitness, fast, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. One rep at a time. I said one rep at a time. Peace.